Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hashtag Sports and the start of the 2024 NFL season. Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to Hashtag Sports. My name is Joe. First of all, if you're new to Hashtag Sports, if this is your first time stumbling upon us, we give you great Buffalo Bills content. Great to see you back. Hey, great to be back. Great to be back. Let's go, Buffalo. We give you Buffalo Bills content. Hey, Chris, good to see you. And throughout the season, we're going to give you live streams of every single game. Guys, I'm going to be with you every single game. Rick, so good to see you. So good to see all of you coming in. Make sure you say hi. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. For everyone right now, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Like this video. Let people know that we are here. We're going to talk about NFL Cut Day. What a day. Always a crazy day, including a Buffalo Bills trade, a rarity because it's a trade with the New York, New Jersey Jets, and the Buffalo Bills normally don't do that, okay? It's an interdivision trade. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Mike White, right? We just signed a quarterback to give Mitch Trubisky a little bit of competition. You also going to talk about, do you know what I'm watching right now, Bills fans? We're getting ready to watch Jessica Pegula, number 6th ranked women's tennis player at the U.S. Open in her first round matchup. I'll probably be looking up. You'll see me going back and forth. The last match on Arthur Ashe Court lasted a little bit longer than expected. So we will be seeing Jessica Pegula soon. So if you're not already watching ESPN, tune in. Hey, Amy, good to see you. Always good to see you. Love you very much. Tune into ESPN right now because we'll get ready to show you the tennis match, U.S. Open matchup, first round with Jessica Pegula, our girl, of course, daughter of owner Terry and Kim Pegula. Kim Pegula making a rare sighting during the offseason as well. Good to see her after her health scare last season. Again, guys, my name's Joe. Normally, if you don't see me, you'll see Paul, Mario, possibly Ryan as well. Join us tomorrow. Ryan and I, all season long, every Wednesday at 10 p.m., going to give you razor sharp picks. And we're going to start tomorrow with our division winner predictions and some season prop bets. Not only this year, we're going to give you our picks, we're giving you our prop bets. Jonathan Wyman comes in and says 2 major surprise cuts in his opinion. Hardy, Shavers would have kept Hardy or Shavers over MSV, sorry. I just don't see him working here. Go Jessica Pegula. Yes, absolutely go Jessica Pegula. Get ready for that matchup. To me, the reason why those are bigger cuts is because we only kept 5 wide receivers. But when you look at the 5 wide receivers, are there some moves in the making? Is something going on that we are just not ready for? Or is Dalton Kincaid really going to play more of a wide receiver type position in Joe Brady's offense? Or does Joe Brady just really not need more than 5 wide receivers? Listen, in today's NFL, you want to get some speed. You want to get those guys out there. And listen, I like Keon Coleman. I like Shakir. I like Samuel. I like what they provide and what they give this team. But I still want to see possibly a 6th wide receiver in our back pocket. And maybe it's going to be on the practice squad, right? Another major cut, in my opinion, was Andy Isabella. Didn't see too much of him with the Buffalo Bills. I think we saw him in 1 game, maybe 2 games last year, but still a surprise cut given the fact that we only kept 5 wide receivers. However, these are guys that can wind up on the practice squad. Remember, the practice squad now gives you an option to have 6 veteran guys on there, right? So just because they were cut and just because they're veterans, it's not like it used to be where you're not sure where they're going to wind up. You can stash those guys on the practice squad, and it still might be all right. So let's get into these cuts a little bit. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. And again, as you guys are coming in here, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Also want to give some love. If you look down below, Hashtag Sports sponsored by Mr. Rogers Homes. Mr. Rogers, top 10% realtor in the Arizona area. So make sure you check out his website. All that information in our description of this video and most of the videos we do. Really appreciate all sponsorship throughout the years. We'll have a special sponsorship hopefully for you next week as far as Razor Sharp Picks goes as well. So we're looking forward to that. So make sure you join us for that. Again, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. After the preseason, Hardy had as the preseason Hardy had, I would be very surprised if he clears waivers. Listen, the Buffalo Bills weren't feeling great about Hardy, and that's why they went out and made the trade. But let's talk about the cuts first. All right, I'm going to try to calm down. Listen, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be back here. Hashtag sports season getting underway. Everything's going nuts. Everything's going crazy. I hope you guys are excited as well. Hey, D. Robert, good to see you in here. Love you very much, and thank you for joining us on Hashtag Sports. And listen, I know everyone's been covering these cuts, right? Everyone has been talking about these cuts, so I don't want to spend too much getting into it, talking about what I think the biggest surprises were and who I think we should have kept compared to who we did keep, things like that. We can all talk about that. The truth of the matter is Paul still pessimistic about this year? I was hoping to have them on here, but apparently there's some, you guys up in Western New York, keep whatever sickness you guys have going on up there. Leave it there. Unfortunately, they're feeling a little bit under the weather, and so they couldn't join me. Again, Ryan will be joining me tomorrow. I don't know. I would love to see him on here. I know that some of you will be on here to talk about what we are predicting for the 2024 NFL season. We will also get into that on this episode. I will give you my record prediction. And then, like I said, tomorrow, Ryan and I are going to go over our division winners. We'll go over our seeding for the playoffs and maybe sprinkle in what we think the Super Bowl matchup is going to be as well. That will all be here tomorrow at 10 p.m. So make sure you join us there. Would love to see your guys' Super Bowl prediction as well tomorrow. So again, thank you for joining me today. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. They're still hitting tennis balls on the court. Suarez from Spain just beat in the men's final, or in the men's first round, just beat his opponent. Getting ready for Jessica Pegula to get on the court. But here is a look at your 53-man roster as it stands right now. Remember, guys, as of today at 4 o'clock, every NFL team had to be down to 53 men. And we had 3 players that we put on IR, Evans, Milano, and I forget the last one off the top of my head. I'm sure someone in the comment section will remind me, but we put 3 guys on IR. Now, Milano has already had his bicep surgery, but we have not yet heard when what his recovery timetable is looking like. Obviously, we've all heard hopefully December at the earliest, but we'll see what that timetable is. I love Matt Milano, I really do. But if we're talking about December, even late December, if the Buffalo Bills have made the playoff push, if the Buffalo Bills have won their division or are in that contention, then obviously we've done a good enough job at outside linebacker where I don't know if him coming in really helps this team any. And you guys might think I'm crazy in saying that, but by December, you have spent a whole season with another guy, with somebody else who you learn to mesh with, who you learn how they play the position, and how they play the position affects how you play your position at middle linebacker, at corner, at safety, whatever the case might be. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Now, listen, I'm not the coach. I'm not part of the coaching staff. I'm sure if Milano's ready to go, this Buffalo Bills team, McDermott will have him in the best position to make this team better. And if he's fully healthy and the team can adjust to that, then I think that's a very good thing. And I always want to see Matt Milano on the field if he's fully healthy and if he can help this team win. But by the end of December, I just don't know where he'll be at, if he'll be ready to play. Hey, Miguel, good to see you. Billy Joe Herbert was a better backup QB than Trubisky. Trubisky did not look well. He did not play well over this preseason, which might be why the Buffalo Bills went out and got Mike White. It looks like he will be joining the Buffalo Bills. And again, he's now Mike White. This is his 3rd AFC East team in 2 seasons. He was a Jet not too long ago. And then he was a Dolphin. The Dolphins cut him earlier this preseason, and now he's with the Buffalo Bills. Surprised we were starting the season. Well, the season hasn't started yet. There's still plenty of time for things to happen. And I'm not sure if he currently is going to be on the practice squad and then only be brought up for a game day, or if he will be as one of those emergency 3rd quarterback options. The good news is we have a guy, knock on everything close to wood that you can knock on, in Josh Allen, who hasn't missed a single start since his rookie season. Now, we know that he's played hurt with his UCL injury. We know that, he's had some issues with his legs, things like that, some smaller issues. But overall, again, knock on any type of wood you have, Josh Allen has remained healthy enough to be our starter every game since his rookie season. So we will keep an eye on that, obviously, because this team goes as Josh Allen goes. I'm worried about Bass. Every kick looks like he's going to miss the uprights. Listen, Tyler Bass, when we signed him a few years ago, signed a pretty decent contract for a kicker. So Bass would have to be significantly outplayed in order for him not to get the nod as the kicker for the Buffalo Bills. And that just didn't happen. I don't think the Buffalo Bills gave a real thought into the idea of Tyler Bass not being our kicker this season. I think that people over-exaggerate, over-criticize how kickers do sometimes in the preseason or in the training camp, things like that. When it comes to game time, how is he going to do? Plus, you have to take a look at, the new kicking rules, the new kickoff rules. Kickers matter in those situations now. I mean, I looked at earlier the difference between last season and was just the preseason as far as returns go. I think I pulled up for you real quick right now. I think I took a picture of it, just the percentage. So, yeah, the kickoff change. In the 2023 season, there were only 21.8% of kicks were returned. In the 2024 preseason, 72.5% of kicks were returned. So if you're someone who likes the kickoff game, if you're someone who likes special teams making an impact, then you like this new rule. You like how this kickoff rule is set up. I get it. If you're the NFL, you want safety. You want to try to make sure that these head-on collisions, these full speed collisions stop. And for a while, you're like, okay, we can't have special teams. Then you start slowly getting rid of that kicking position, that kicking game. But now the XFL kind of introduced a new way to do the kickoff. The NFL adopted that, and we're going to see how it works. But as far as preseason goes, it looks like it's going to be something that's fun to watch. The kickoff game will be fun again, which is one of the reasons why I believe the Buffalo Bills made this trade with the New York, New Jersey Jets. The Buffalo Bills getting Brandon Codrington, I think I'm going to say that right, probably not, and a 2026 7th-round pick, and the Jets get a Buffalo Bills 2026 6th-round pick. I think this is really smart by Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills to make this a 2026 late draft trade compared to a 2025 late round draft trade. And the reason why is because as of 2025, we're not sure who the Jets quarterback is going to be. Sure, Aaron Rodgers could play a third year, but Aaron Rodgers is only owed $7 million by the Jets next season of guaranteed money. Only $7 million. I think they would save $23 million in cap space if they did not have Aaron Rodgers on team next season. What's to stop him from retiring? Over 40 years old. What's to stop him from trying to go somewhere else once he realizes this Jets team is not the team that's going to help him win a Super Bowl? Because we have seen all preseason, all training camp long, what's happened between the Jets' star quarterback and their number one wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. Seems like they can't get on the same page. And even though Bills fans didn't want to admit it a year ago at this time, when there's smoke, a lot of times there is fire. And so the the New York Jets have to deal with that. So we'll see how they deal with that. I'm looking forward to it. I do not think the New York, New Jersey Jets are going to be as good as a lot of people think they're going to be. And we'll get into that a little bit more today as I do my predictions. But we'll also get into that tomorrow as well. And I look forward to talking about that. But let's we talk about these cuts. You see the 53-man roster in front of you. Talk about the trade. Talk about Mike White now being a Buffalo Bill, being put on Buffalo Bills practice squad, it looks like, for the time being. But again, someone who can compete with Mitchell Trubisky, who had a pretty bad offseason, or a preseason, I should say, is never a Now, the writing should have been on the wall for me and for all of us to see this when he got so much time in that last preseason game, right? Over 100 yards on the ground, a touchdown, which was a really cool moment. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video by now. Frank Gore Jr. getting in the end zone and then going into the crowd, and you see his dad right there, Frank Gore Sr., who once a Buffalo Bill, obviously spent most of his career with the 49ers, but spent 3 seasons in Buffalo, Hall of Famer. But just a really cool moment. I know that Frank Gore Jr. is going to catch on somewhere. And hopefully he does well. Wish him nothing but the best. Again, Daquan Hardy had a pretty decent preseason when it comes to return game. But obviously the Buffalo Bills coaching staff didn't see what they wanted to out of him to make him their full-time starting return guy, whether it be punts, whether that be returns. And they made this trade with the Jets to get Codrington, a rookie, who I'm very excited to see how he plays. I'm very excited to see. I think in the preseason, I just saw it posted by Ryan Talbert on Twitter. He made 15 guys miss on 8 kickoff returns. So to me, that's great. That means that he has a chance to break some tackles and give the Buffalo Bills great field position, and that's really going to help this offense out in the long run. I think this Buffalo Bills offense still has the potential to be one of the better offenses in the NFL this season. So with that being said, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. With that being said, of course, now we want to talk about what the 2024 season looks like for our Buffalo Bills. The schedule is up in front of you. You look at week 1, you got the Arizona Cardinals. Let me know in the comment section. 20 of you in here staying up with me late on the East Coast. I appreciate it. Do you think we beat the Arizona Cardinals? Do you think we lose to Arizona Cardinals? What do you think happens week 1? Game is at home, which is always, you love having that home opener, right? You love being able to be home that first week. Bills Mafia going to be going crazy. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm calling the game right here, half hour before the game starts. We go live. We'll talk about some pregame. We'll give you some 3 keys to victory. We'll talk about some other games around the NFL. By that time, 1 o'clock on Sunday, we will have seen 2 football games because there's the Thursday night opener, Baltimore at Kansas City. But don't forget, there's also that Friday game in Germany between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. So we can talk about that a little bit, what we saw so far. Remember week 1 last year, the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they let the left tackle sit like 2 yards behind line of scrimmage to start a play, which was ridiculous. Didn't see that the rest of the season, thank goodness. But here we are, week 1. The Bills at home against the Arizona Cardinals. And I look at this game and I think, man, this is a great spot to open up with. Arizona, not one of the better teams in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills have a really tough schedule. It'll be great to start the season off with a win. However, I look at where these 2 teams are kind of trending, okay? And I look at the Arizona Cardinals. You got, Marvin Harrison Jr. there now, looking pretty decent in the preseason. I think this Arizona Cardinals team can surprise some people this season. Not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think come week 15, week 16, they're still in playoff contention. So with that being said, and with, I'm a guy who's been part of elimination/survivor pools, whatever you call them, for the past 20 years, okay? And there's always one game week 1 where one of the favorites goes into the game and just comes out sluggish. We've seen it with the Buffalo Bills, with the Sean McDermott Buffalo Bills. We've seen it before. We saw it against the Steelers week 1 a few years back, and we've seen it before. And I think that the Buffalo Bills might come out a little slow. New offense, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. And by new offensive coordinator, I mean this is the first year he's starting. Again, this is the first year that we're actually using Joe Brady's system. So for those reasons, I look at the Arizona Cardinals and I say the Buffalo Bills are on upset alert. Give me the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo week 1. The Buffalo Bills are on 1 and the sky is falling. Bills Mafia hates everything about themselves and the Buffalo Bills. The media is saying, we told you so. The window is closed. Josh Allen not able to work with these weapons. The Bills are in trouble. And remember, it's also a short week. So let's not also forget about the look-ahead factor, right? When it comes to week 1, looking at week 2, knowing that we play the Dolphins, a huge divisional matchup, Thursday Night Football, the first game this season on Amazon Prime is our Buffalo Bills going into Miami, playing the Miami Dolphins. Thursday Night Football. Again, we'll be live right here, #sports. I got you covered. If you do not have Amazon Prime and you don't feel like paying for 5 or 6 streaming services just to watch a full season of Buffalo Bills football, I understand it, and I'm with you. But I'm here to support you in every way I can, give you live play-by-play and reaction. For this game, I think this is when the Buffalo Bills get it back on track. Okay, the Buffalo Bills come into this game. We all know Josh Allen's record against the Miami Dolphins, 10-2, maybe even 11-2 if you include playoff games against the Buffalo Bills. And he's a Charles Clay drop and maybe 10 degrees of cooler weather from being 12-0. The Josh Allen just owns the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the team needs to even matter. Josh Allen versus Miami Dolphins, give me Josh Allen, and that's what happens here. The Buffalo Bills move to 1-1 and move to 1-0 in the division and in the conference. And let's be honest, a lot of experts have the Buffalo Bills starting 1-1, but they have these games switched. If you're a Bills fan, this is how you want it to go. If the Buffalo Bills are going to start 1-1, you want to lose the NFC game. You want to lose the out-of-conference game. Then you get a mini bye week. The Bills don't play again until Monday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Remember last year, played the Jaguars in London. Crazy, stupid game. I think that's the game we actually lost Milano last season. Hate being in London. Luckily, this time we're in Buffalo, and Buffalo gets the win at home Monday night after that mini bye. A high from beating the Miami Dolphins. I think the Buffalo Bills come back a little bit, come back to life. You see Josh Allen, and you see this offense beginning to click. It takes some time, but I think this offense does begin to click eventually in the season. But I don't know if it's enough come week 4 to beat one of the favorites in the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl. Right? And we all know about the Baltimore Ravens. We all know about Lamar Jackson. In the regular season, hot. In the regular season, lights out. Postseason, not so much. We have seen a great Baltimore Ravens team lose in the postseason for the past 3-4 seasons, including one time to our Buffalo Bills. Lamar Jackson just has this reputation, and I don't know if that's going to continue this season or not, but I do know how he plays in the regular season. 2-time NFL MVP, whether we think he deserved it or not, over our guy Josh Allen. I think this is a statement game more for the Ravens than it is for the Buffalo Bills. In Baltimore on Sunday Night Football, I believe this game's on Sunday night. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to drop the Bills to 2-2. Going into a huge Week 5 matchup in Houston, the Buffalo Bills going up against their old teammate Stephon Diggs. Sure, there's going to be a lot of storylines surrounding that one, right? CJ Stroud, of course, Rookie of the Year last year, looked really, really good. This Houston team about to explode, or at least it seems that way. It seems that way. You got Nico Collins, you got Dell there, you got a lot of great weapons on offense. I think Schultz is their tight end. A lot of great weapons surrounding the offense. And the defense has sneakingly got better too this offseason. A lot of people not talking about it simply because of how good this offense looks. But this defense has gotten better as well. So give me the Buffalo Bills to lose. Back-to-back losses. 2-3. 2-3. And again, we went from 2-1 after week 3 to again, the sky is falling. Jonathan says the Bills win 13 games in the regular season, win the division, and number 1 seed. I don't know about all that. If we lose to Arizona week 1, then we only win in 4 games. Spin. Again, this is the craziness I expect out of Bills Mafia if we lose to Arizona week 1. We're just talking about it. We're just predicting it might happen. And people are saying if we lose to Arizona, the Bills only winning 4 games the whole season. Going into Monday Night Football, another Monday Night Football game. Again, I think the Bills have 4 primetime games in 5 weeks going up against the New York, New Jersey Jets in New York. Now, listen, by this time, who knows who's the quarterback for the Jets? By this time, I hope that's still Aaron Rodgers. But again, I just don't see this Jets team being as competitive. This defense for the Jets is going to be absolutely outstanding. No lie. I understand how good this Jets defense is going to be. And we all know how much the Jets, just stress Josh Allen out. They just stress him out. We saw it last year. We've seen it in years past. But Monday Night Football, I think the Buffalo Bills find a way to win after back-to-back losses. Giving the Buffalo Bills to beat the Jets. Again, 2-0 in the division. And now we sit at 3-3. Then we go on a little bit of a run. We go on a little bit of a run, in my opinion, against the Tennessee Titans, who I think are, having a bounce-back season. No Henry anymore, trying to figure out their identity, kind of. I think the Buffalo Bills can win there at home. Going against Seattle, I know a lot of people talking about how the Buffalo Bills are going to the West Coast, and that travel might hinder the Buffalo Bills. But that thought, that train of thinking, listen, the Bills will gain 3 hours, not lose 3 hours. It's more of West Coast teams coming east where you really have that problem. You really have teams struggling to kind of get that jet lag out of the way, right? The Buffalo Bills will be gaining 3 hours here. It won't be nearly as bad as it will be when they come back home. Luckily, it's pretty much a bye week for Josh Allen when we come back home. Give me the Buffalo Bills to beat Seattle in Seattle. And again, Miami versus Josh Allen. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. This is how much Josh Allen has dominated the Miami Dolphins in his career. Josh Allen has won 16 AFC Offensive Player of the Week awards. 16 AFC Offensive Player of the Week awards, which means he was the best offensive player the whole week 16 times in his career, which is pretty impressive. What's more impressive? 8 of those have come against the Miami Dolphins. So not only in 12 regular season matchups is Josh Allen 10-2 against the Miami Dolphins. 66% of the time, 67% of the time, he is the best player in the AFC when he plays the Dolphins. That's nuts. He owns the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins fans don't want to hear it. They don't want to admit it, but Josh Allen owns the Miami Dolphins. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter who the best defensive player is. It doesn't matter how good the offensive line is. None of that matters. All that matters is that Josh Allen owns the Miami Dolphins, and I don't see anything changing this season. So the Bills just went from 2-3 to 6-3, just like that. A 4-game winning streak for the Buffalo Bills, and it doesn't end there. Houston used all like last year, back to earth this season. Maybe you switch that Houston game around. We beat Houston, but we lose to the Jets. Maybe something like that could happen. I could easily see the Bills splitting those 2 games. But again, we don't know yet. We don't know, because by this time of the season, injuries will have played a factor. Maybe not for the Buffalo Bills more than they already have, but for other teams. Will Richardson still be the quarterback of the Colts week 10? Will that be happening? Will Tua still be the quarterback of the Dolphins? Who's going to get hurt? What big names are going to miss big parts of this season? We already know one of them, Matt Milano. So we'll see what happens. Pegula is warming up here, it looks like, or is this actually, who knows? I don't know. I know they're on the court. So Pegula just won the first point. Okay, so that's got the first point. So again, if you're not watching ESPN, Jessica Pegula just started. I think they're the only match on at this hour. So tune into ESPN as Jessica Pegula, daughter of Kim and Terry Pegula, owner of the Buffalo Bills, It has her first round matchup against Rogers of the USA. But Pegula was like a big favorite, like minus 2,000, something like that. So hopefully there's no difficulty here, and Jessica Pegula is able to win this one. She wins second point pretty easily. Moving on, again, the Colts. I think that the Buffalo Bills continue this winning streak going into the Kansas City Chiefs game. You look at the Buffalo Bills at this point now, and you see a 7-3 team. 7-3 team going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who no doubt in my mind will win the AFC West. I think that the with how good Andy Reid is, the Kansas City Chiefs would win that division without Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes get hurt. I think Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. I can't wait to see what he does this season. And if they can do a three-peat, be the first team ever in NFL history to win 3 back-to-back Super Bowls. Would love to see it. But I just don't know if it will happen. I'm just saying that even if it was Carson Wentz starting for the Kansas City Chiefs, I think that they would have a good shot still to win that division. That's how much respect I have for Andy Reid and his offensive genius. So you go to that game, Week 11, big matchup at this point. Bills 7-3. Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They have a winning record for sure at this point, probably running away with the AFC West at this point. In Buffalo, right before a bye, Bills coming off 5 straight wins. Everyone is excited for this matchup, but we all know that the Buffalo Bills normally do well against Kansas City in the regular season. Do you know who else knows that? The Kansas City Chiefs. I think that they have a plan for the Buffalo Bills this time in Buffalo. I think Kansas City Chiefs win again in Buffalo, and Bills fans will be devastated because we know that that's the team. That's Josh Allen's kryptonite, right? That's the team that the Bills have to beat in order to get to the AFC Championship or to the Super Bowl. That's the team the Buffalo Bills have to beat, and it just hasn't happened in the playoffs. Most of the time it happens in the regular season, but it does not happen, in my opinion, here. I think it's a perfect time for the Buffalo Bills bye week. And I love the late bye weeks, by the way. I love late bye weeks. I hate early bye weeks. I think the Chiefs have like a week 5 bye week this year. I hate early bye weeks. I love the late bye weeks. The AFC West has some big time questions. They absolutely do. And again, we'll talk more about that in tomorrow's stream. But right now, luckily, the Buffalo Bills only play the Kansas City Chiefs. We do not play the AFC West this year. The Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders. Maybe I shouldn't say luckily, because that would be the Broncos and Raiders are 2 teams we should be able to beat pretty easily, and maybe the Chargers too. Then after the bye, the Bills play the San Francisco 49ers in Buffalo. Look at McDermott's record after a bye. I look at the San Francisco team, and I know how good they are. Okay, we all know how good they're supposed to be. Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, all that. I understand. Will Brandon Ayuk still be there by week 13? Will he be traded by then? What is going to happen? Pegula won the first game. I'm sorry. So she's up 1-0. Rogers won the first point in the second game. So if you keep an eye on that. But I look at this Bills team coming off a bye week under Sean McDermott, usually pretty good. I think after they lose that game to Kansas City, they're going to want to prove some things coming out of their bye week. And if you look at the Bills post-December over the past 3 seasons, I wrote down somewhere, but I forget where I wrote down. But their record is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Since the year 2000, so past 3 seasons, if you go into December and on, they are almost unbeatable. Almost unbeatable. They are untouchable once you get to a certain point in the season, and they just go on a roll. They just go on a run. You saw it last year, right? The Dolphins blew a 3-game lead with like 4 or 5 games left. We saw what happened. And I think it happens here again. I think the Buffalo Bills, after losing to Kansas City, and again, everyone's saying that they can't slay the beast, they can't do it, they win. They win. Detroit's a tough one. Come back from LA to Detroit. You can easily see them, Detroit coming off a little bit of rest. That's what little sleeping bed coming off a mini bye is for. Maybe they lose to Detroit. But then 3 divisional matchups, all winnable. Win, win, win. And that is how I see this season going. I see us beating New England twice. I see us maybe only being the Jets once. Again, you can flip these games around here. Jets beat us at home Monday, but that means the Bills have a 3-game losing streak. No, but then you have Houston, the Bills being the Texans there. Maybe that's more like it. Bills lose that one divisional game. Maybe they don't go undefeated in the division. But that's how I see this season playing out. I see there being panic early on from the media, especially the local media. We lose that week 1 matchup. I mean, Spin said it. Spin was just like, we just win 4 games. We just win 4 games. But then the run that they go on, especially at the end of the season, you're talking about what, 2 4+ game winning streaks for the Buffalo Bills. And I see the Buffalo Bills 6-2 at home, 12-5 record, probably good enough for the 3 seed in the AFC, maybe the 4 seed. We're not sure. But I think 12-5 was the 3 seed last year. 5-1 in the division, 9-3 in the conference, 9-5 first playoff teams. I just see the Buffalo Bills doing really well, especially later in the season. Remember, this is a team whose biggest loss last year was 6 points, week 1 to the Jets in overtime. That was their biggest loss last season. 6 points to the Jets. I'm not saying I have confidence in this team come playoff time. We just don't have the guns, right? We're outmanned, outgunned come playoff time. But you never know what happens. You never know what's going to happen in the NFL playoffs. Our team's going into the NFL playoffs at 100%. And if the Bills are and other teams aren't, they can take advantage of that. We saw an Eli Manning-led Giants team twice win the Super Bowl, once from a wild card spot. So once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole new season. And once we get to the playoffs, if we make it, if my predictions hold true, we will go into the playoffs on a 3-game winning streak, winning 5 of our last 6, 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. I think that the Buffalo Bills will be in a good spot to maybe make a run. We all know we have the quarterback to do it. So let's see this team continue to improve. Let's see Sean McDermott, see what he can do with this defense. I'm not worried about the defense. I know we lost Matt Milano. I get that. Remember last year at this time how concerned we were about that middle linebacker position without Tremaine Edmonds? Then we kind of got our answer early on in the season as far as what the Bills were going to do. I know that the secondary looks completely different, but Kyrie Elam kind of stepped up this preseason. Looked all right. At least in the training camp. Looked all right. Let's see how it progresses into the season. Not sure. But let me know what your record prediction is in the comment section for the Buffalo Bills. Again, look at the schedule. What games do you agree with? What games do you disagree with? I promise you, if we lose to Arizona week 1, not a single person on the face of the earth will have the Bills winning 12 games, except for me. I have the Bills winning 12 games. I have the Bills doing really well against the division again. And the Buffalo Bills probably at 12-5 winning the division. Again, being a 3, maybe 4 seed. And I'm liking it. You tell me what you think in the comment section. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button will be live again tomorrow. Talked a little bit about the NFL cuts, NFL cut day. Again, the Buffalo Bills made a trade in the day with the New York, New Jersey Jets. Let's see how it helps us this season. We have seen in the past how a move to get an ex-Jets returner has really benefited the Bills. Talking about Roberts a boatload of years ago, it seems like at this point. But he did really well for the Bills. Let's see if picking up this young rookie will have the same success. Now, the return game matters that much more. Again, join us tomorrow for Razor Sharp Picks, the first of a full year of installments every single Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth? And right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!